Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was extra special for Naomi and I to have all our kids together with us. And I saw many of your posts on Facebook, Instagram, pictures highlighting similar moments to ours. Time spent with our loved ones, family, and friends provide opportunities to reflect on the many gifts the Lord has given us and how much we indeed have to be thankful for, especially in light of the terrible conflict we are watching unfold with attacks occurring in Israel and their response in Gaza. I want to provide you today with two important updates related to the conflict in Israel and also the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The events of the last few days have been distressing to watch for me, and it is challenging to comprehend the suffering endured by so many people. And then to process this on the backdrop of a Thanksgiving weekend where we have so much and are enjoying the peace we have in our country, it can be jarring at times, can't it? And yet, because of Jesus, we are a people of hope. And so a few verses that came to mind this morning as I was thinking of our time here together in this video. Number one was 1 Peter 4, where we're reminded that as followers of Jesus, we're not to be caught off guard by suffering. In 2 Corinthians 1, it shares with us that we're to use our experiences of suffering as a basis to comfort others. In fact, it goes on to say that our comfort abounds through Christ. It's more than enough. And of course, Hebrews 12, the first few verses, that we continually fix our eyes on Jesus, and that as we do, that we would not grow weary or lose heart. I want to let you know that our international worker couple in Israel is safe, currently based in Jerusalem. We currently have a team in Jerusalem who's also safe. It was a short-term missions trip that went, and they're trying to get on a plane scheduled to depart in the next day or so. And so please continue to be praying for them during these days. This week, I had the profound privilege of spending time with our Polish partners and pastors who helped facilitate the emergency response and aid being provided to Ukraine and the Ukrainian church during this protracted war. While we continue to hear countless stories about profoundly challenging and difficult situations, they shared with us these deep stories of hope. Jesus is alive, working, and expanding his church in Ukraine and around the world. And the more they shared, the more excited and encouraged I became as they reflected on the God we serve, the God who can and does more than we ask or imagine, our God who is unmoved and unhindered by circumstances, no matter how challenging. I know that some of our pastors have also seen firsthand the incredible work that is already being done. And I want you to be encouraged too. So let me share two stories of hope in the face of so much uncertainty. Firstly, they shared that when the war in Ukraine began, many people, understandably, they fled. Numerous churches, even well-established churches, saw 50 to 90% of their congregations literally disappear overnight as people sought the security of regional countries and other areas. Completely understandable. These pastors reported that many of these churches now, if you were to go there today, have congregations of equal size or even greater than when the war began. Not necessarily because people have returned, but because new people have found the hope and peace that can only be found in Jesus. It's incredible. And so please pray for new leaders to be raised up, as much of the church in Ukraine is now filled with new believers. These are indeed great days in difficult times. Secondly, they shared that just prior to the war, there was a new church being built in a very developed town just outside of Kiev, located in what they would describe as the blocks, which is an area of high-density apartment buildings. They explained how before the war, the community had complained about this new church because of the increased traffic, noise, and many other reasons. They did not want this facility in their neighborhood. For context, it's important to understand that this church was being built between two buildings. On one side of the church is a very large school building. On the other side, there are these multiple apartment complexes. The war started, and during the fighting, a massive bomb was dropped on the school beside the church. Both buildings were empty at the time. No one was harmed. The school and the surrounding area was utterly destroyed, except for the church, which remained standing. Miraculous. Yes, the windows were blown out, but not only was the church still standing, but it had also taken the brunt of the shockwave and completely protected the many people living in the apartment complexes on the other side of this church. The community was understandably amazed. And so as they were sharing this in my mind, I was thinking, that's a miracle. That is so amazing. And then the pastor said, stopping me in mid-thought, while this is indeed miraculous, he says, what is even more miraculous is that since the bombing happened more than 500 days ago, that this church has been holding services with people coming, not just coming, but on many days packing out this church for more than 500 days straight. Every day they meet. And it's still going. Alliance Canada, we are witnessing God's answer to our vision prayer, multiplying disciples everywhere. And it is being answered in many ways that we would never have imagined. I'm filled with many emotions these days, as I'm sure you are too. My heart is being turned increasingly to prayer for the needs in our churches, personal difficulties we might be facing, the need for Jesus in our communities, and for his saving love to be known globally. With all this in mind, I'm asking us today, this week, perhaps in a fresh way, to fix our eyes again on Jesus, to not grow weary, Alliance Canada, nor lose heart, to proclaim, perhaps just like Jehoshaphat in 2 Chronicles when he said that we do not know what to do. But Jesus, our eyes are on you. As I sign off, would you be encouraged by a current story, just a day or so old, by a new Ukrainian believer?
Hi, everybody. I'm standing in front of one of our partner churches here in Sandomierz, Poland. 17 months ago, this church received a number of women who had fled the war in Ukraine. This morning, I sat down with one of them, Jenya, who we interviewed at that time, and asked her the question, what's changed in your life since coming here?
A lot of things changed in my life. Not only accommodation, not only my surrounding friends and so on. I met so great people here, Christian people. I wasn't a believer before, really, never. I had a church in the park, and every time I walked past, I thought, poor guys. So they're like broken, so that's why they can't deal with their things, so they need to find God. Well, okay, it's just, I was always skeptical. Well, but when I came here, I was suspicious. Why these people help me? Why did you come and
do the video
and so on? So, but just understand, I have never met Christians before. Maybe it's funny, but I couldn't believe that people can have this open heart, they can help and so on. So now I am a believer. I get baptized a few months ago, 11th of June. Mm-hmm. Well, so that's why my heart is full of joy. Like, it's amazing. My life really changed.
Wow.
And not only material things, it's very good, and thank you very much for All People Foundation that they give us possibility. We have food, we have place to live, safe place to stay, and right. My kids, they're happy, they can sleep in a good environment, and they know for sure that tomorrow they can wake up and they will have breakfast and go to school. It's simple but very important, amazing things.
Jenya, it's great to hear how God's been working in your life. And and I just want you folks back in Canada, this is just a short video. We could talk much longer, but please continue to pray. Jenya is just one woman amongst literally thousands in this situation, separated from family. But it's great to hear how God's worked in your life, and He's just given you new life. And so we're so thankful for that.
And He gives me support. Before that was from, this society, from my husband, but now I have God's support. So that's why I live in, this joy, happiness.
Yeah.
To do and to serve and other people, to say, yes, to glorify. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling your story today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so please keep praying, and please don't forget what's going on here and how the church together is reaching people, not just with material help, but with the gospel and bringing new life.